It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm on my own, and I'm dead lonely. I'm having a nightmare. I'm on my own. Adrian, unfortunately, he's had a bit of family malarkey to deal with, so he's hopefully going to be joining us in the very, very next half hour or so, if he can get home in time, but he hopefully will make an appearance before the end of the show. So you've got me on my own with our guest, who will be joining us in a moment, Diggers Den Tyson Fury, Terry Reid, and I'll find out where the name of that come from, because it's like cunnilingus. It's a bit of a mouthful. You like that? I can tell you like that. Anyway, parish notices. Don't forget Midland Detecting Days rally, which will be taking place in August on the Friday the 19th, 20th and 21st near Leek in Staffordshire. Midland Detecting Days. Get yourself over there. You'll find all the information on that Facebook group. The week before, on the 13th, Saturday the 13th of August, myself, I'll be at the Congleton Medieval Festival. It's a free event if anybody's local in the Northwest or Staffordshire, etc. Free event. Have a Google or Facebook for Congleton Medieval Festival. Got the Knights of Nottingham there, dragons and medieval musicry and malarkey and foodie and us as well. So there you go. We are currently in the process as well. Myself, Luke, and mainly Adrian. Luke's dealing with the advertising. I'm dealing with the articles. And Adrian is building the magazines, issue 9 and 10 of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, which will be free at the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally and Detectable. Advertisers basically pay us to put their products in the magazine. And from their advertising, we're able to produce the magazine to give away for free. So they'll be available at Rodney Cook and Detectable. And thereafter, at other well-known rallies throughout the UK, including Middle of Detecting Dave's, Peaky Finders, Metal Detectives, several others as well, which elude me at the moment. Adrian would have spurred me on. Anyway, we've actually got all the articles, and there's some absolutely fantastic brand new articles that have never been read on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and lots of other bits and pieces from the Rodney Cook team, the Rodney Cook event, Mark and Karen Becker. We've got all sorts going on in the magazine. So when you see us at Rodney Cook and when you see us at Detectable, please come over, say hello, and get your free magazines, because they are fantastic, if I don't say so myself. Adrian has played an absolute blinder again with his building of the magazines. So look forward to them. I think that's all. Oh, and the other, as I say, the Middle of Detecting Days and Medieval Festival, we'll have past copies, so we'll have last year's and the years before stock that we've still got to give out for free. So please get yourself along to all them events, and if you are there, come and find us, and don't forget the law. If you do come to one of them events, and you do come over to the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, stroke Big Detecting Show stand, bring cake, and that is all. Shall we bring on tonight's guest? Because I'm lonely. Terry, good evening.
Good evening, Dave. How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Long few days. Been a bit hot on that, but yeah.
It's been a bit hot. Would you believe I'm a sprayer for a well-known digger manufacturer, and in my spray booth on Monday it was 60 degrees, and it was 62 degrees on Tuesday, and I actually did suffer on Tuesday. I did. Nah, I won't go there. I won't tell you what happened, but I wasn't very well, let's say the least.
Well, this is the first.
It's a pleasure to have you here. As I've said to Terry before, and I've said a couple of weeks ago when we invited him as a guest, there's a number of people that we want to invite on as guests, but as I do all the invitations, I've got a crap memory and I forget to invite people. And I thought to myself, let's ask Terry. So I asked Terry. We also have several other people who haven't been on before in the coming weeks. But Terry, thanks for coming on. And I've been looking forward to speaking to you for a while. It's nice for you to come on.
It's nice for you to invite me to come on the show. I sort of watch every week, and when you asked me last week, I thought, yeah. And then, of course, today it got a bit closer, and I started getting a little bit nervous because I haven't been on a live for a little while, and the sort of the nerves kicked in a little bit, and then it was all right. Sort of once you sort of got on, that was it. So I might stutter from time to time.
Terry, I do it every week, and I've been doing it for 3 years now. Honestly, as we say to everybody, it's like sitting in a pub having a chat with your mates. You don't even have to look at the side to see what the conversation's going on. Chat crap, and
yeah.
we do it every week. You've seen it.
Yeah.
So, Terry, tell us a little bit about your background before we go into metal detecting and such like.
Well, I'm 43, just turned 43. I've not been metal detecting. I've only been metal detecting probably about 6 years. Before that, I used to do a lot of sea fishing, carp fishing, which I still do a bit now, but it's metal detecting sort of more of a better hobby for me because casting, I've got a bad left arm, so I can't really cast. So started getting into metal detecting, and for the last 6 years, got into the hobby and just started to really enjoy it.
And what actually did bring you onto the hobby?
It was a friend of mine. He's a few years younger than me, and he had a few little rough times in his sort of going on in his life, and he was going out with a friend, and he had an Ace 150. It was a Garrett, it was. And I said to him, I'll come out with you. And he was finding some nice little bits. So I went on Facebook and looked at this metal detector, and it had all these buttons on it. And I think I don't know, today I still don't know what it was called. And it had all these dials. And I went out of it, and the worst thing I could have ever bought was this metal detector. And he said to me, look, I've got another one. Do you want to? So he gave me one of his Ace 150s. And of course, ever since I went out with this Ace 150, I started finding little bits, and then I started getting right into it. And then, of course, after then, it was going out every week and and the wife started moaning I was going out nearly every other day as soon as I got back. But it's just now, it's been, as I say, as time went on, I started to get more into it. Then I got the 250, the Ace, and I stayed with the Ace range because it was so easy, because it was switch on and go. Because I didn't know nothing about metal detecting, so we was down the beach and it was just literally switch the machine on. But the machine I had, you had to do all these buttons, and even today I don't know what the buttons were for. I just used to make it look good by just turning certain ones, and it did a job, but it just never really found much. And then, cool, as soon as the Ace, I used the Ace, it was there on from then, and I just really enjoyed it. Found loads of bits, different parts,
and obviously love it now.
Yeah, I enjoy it now. The last few weeks has been a bit sort of like slow. Not many videos have come out. I've been sort of like, I've set back a little bit because I had a little bit of an illness, but now I've started to get better. I've just got straight back into it, and I've been to the beach 3 nights in a row. Literally, as soon as 12 o'clock come at night, I thought, right, can't sleep. I'm going down the beach because it's only up the road. Yeah. And there I was. I found 20 something pound the first night and £15 the next night, but tonight I can feel it. I can still feel it now, sort of thing. And I thought, no, leave
midnight down the beach. Really?
Yeah, literally. There's a seafront where I live, Herne Bay, and the arcades run along the seafront. And during the day, it's really packed, and you couldn't really get round people. So I thought, right, can't sleep. I'm just and with the Apex, because I was on stones. If you set it in a certain mode just for coins, you could swipe the coins up. I mean, ring pulls ring up at 55. And so do 50p pieces. But with the Apex, once you use it for as long as I have, you know the 2 different tones between the 2. So I could sweep the beach with loads of different coins. Bottle caps are a bit harder. I'll still pick them blooming things up, but ring pulls, I can get rid of them now, which is a bonus.
I was just on Google Maps then. I'd heard of Herne Bay, but I didn't have a clue where it was. Sort of like on the bum of Britain near Whitstable.
That's right. I'm right next to Whitstable. Whitstable's literally just probably about 2-3 miles up the road from where I am. So it's a lovely place, Whitstable. It's sort of like now where I live, they're building more houses are going up everywhere, and literally all the farmers these days are either selling land to put solar panels in because they make more money that way because they have a 99-year lease, or they sell it to a property developer with the comeback of if they get the permission to develop on it, they will get half the proceeds. But as my farmer says, people say they earn a lot of money from having the houses built, but you have to have 5 or 6 other people invest into it. Then schools around the area have to be given money to extend, and new parks and things like that. So in the end, they don't really get left with a lot. So I don't see why they just don't stick solar panels in. Are probably easier. But farmers where I live, he just bought the land to just develop on it, basically. So some of the land that I've got now I've lost, but I've gained other land other places, which is a bonus.
That's a bit mental, isn't it, with the houses? I mean, we've got similar where I live in Congleton, and you actually ask the landowner, knowing that they come, can I get on there before then? No, you can't do that. You're going to have to ask them, and they're just not accommodating at all. Because you find something, you stop and build them, don't you?
See, that's down here because we're quite close to we're quite close to Canterbury. There's a lot of history, so whenever they build either like on the golf course in Herne Bay, which is just up the road, as soon as they build somewhere, they literally, archaeologists come in first and they scan the field. And the builder was there one day because my farmer said, look, it's gone now, so you have to get permission from the developer. I was on there, and the developer. No. 2 seconds, sorry. Sorry about that.
Asking him what he wants for his tea there.
Yeah, the field where I've been recently, they have the archaeologists move straight in. They, as I say, they scan the field, and then the developer come in. So I was on the field, developer come in, he said to me, yeah, we don't mind you being on here. He said, got the archaeologists coming in next week. They're going to be digging. And of course, when the archaeologists come in, that was the first time I sort of got to meet them. But at first, they was a little bit sort of, not sort of like happy me being there at first. But then once I started talking to him and things like that over the next few weeks. Once I was there, we got on like a house on fire, and I sort of started to help them out. Yeah. But now they've got every plot of land where I've been. There's literally one place has got a Saxon road, and they've got a building there. The place where I've been over the back, they found actual bodies there. Wow. And there's loads of stuff. Like everywhere they go, they just found a bone whistle. Well, I've never heard of one before, but it's snapped off, but it's made out of bone. It's got like tiny little holes in it. Yeah. And it's just crazy what the stuff they find. But as I say, every field, before they develop in it, they seem to have archaeologists in there, and they find loads and loads of stuff. But I'm in one field, and I've been in there for about 4 years, not really found many Roman things until they actually dug. And I'm talking about 4 foot of mud out. So you're talking 4 foot of mud, about 3 football pitches big. So that's how deep some of these coins that I found actually were. She was never going to find them with a metal detector until they actually dug that deep. And of course, once they dug that deep and I started helping, I started to find all these coins. I was thinking to myself, signals are going off. Maybe it's the clay, because it was a brown light clay. And then you have like a dark line run through the middle. And it's like an old river. Yeah, and what had happened was the coins had all fallen into the river, and the mud had just piled over. So as soon as I walked along this one line, the metal detector just went crazy, and it was just one after another, one after another, one after another. So we dug about 100, 150, and we sprayed the area, left it, and then they went back, and they said they didn't find any more, but they did find another 345, probably about 6 meters away. So it was either where I said it was, like where I pinpointed where I found mine. Yeah. It was either I was out where I pinpointed it, or they was out. But I was spot on, because I went in a field with that little app, and I had to actually mark it point to point, so Flo knew exactly where it was. And their archaeologist said to me, right, we'd take the coins. So they took most of the coins, and I kept a couple. And over the last few days, I've started to go and see them again. I've got quite a few little bits back, because they're not some of the coins they've got. Some of the silver ones they're looking into still, but some of the just Roman ones, they've took the ones that could be worth something, and the ones that have all chipped and broken, they've given me back. They give me some little bits of pottery, and I've got lumps of pottery all over the place in my house now. It's like it's like I've started clay pottery in my back garden.
So these coins that you found, are they of a certain era, or are they of the coins that we're going to talk about a little bit later about what you found and you had the videos of?
They're all in a good couple of I think within a couple of 100 years within each other, most of the coins are.
And we'll talk about your hoard in a bit. Is this the hoard, or is this another site?
Yeah, this is part of what they called it part of the hoard, like a hoard. Right. And another builder that was there, he said to me that because there's so many coins there, they class it as a hoard. But it's really sort of the archaeologists don't get paid, if you know what I mean. They don't get paid any money. It's all funded, so they're paid by the developer on the building site. Yeah. So it's when things are found, it's a little sort of like, because they don't want to shut the site down, so they try to get as quickly job done as they can, which they do a really good job. But sometimes, because they're rushing so much, they don't pinpoint certain things in certain places. So I mean, I can't argue with them, because I still work with them, so I can't say no, it was there and it was there. It's they classed it as part of a scattered hoard, but not as a full hoard connected to the other one, if you know what I mean. If it was connected to the other one, it'd be like a massive hoard kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to the hoard a little bit later on. In the meantime, we'll go a few other places, learn a few more of the bits and bobs. One of the things, as I said at the start of the show, Diggers Den Tyson Fury. How did that name come about for the YouTube channel?
Well, it started off about 8-9 years ago, probably a bit longer than that. I was fishing, and a friend of mine and me used to fish together. And we used to have camp names. He used to be called Camp GC, because he used to be further down. He used to call me Camp Tyson, because no one wanted to call me Camp Terrence. So he said to me, because he had this dog and it was Tyson, it was just called Camp Tyson. And of course, it stuck like that for years and years. And then of course, somebody added the name Fury on. I don't know why, because I can't box for nothing. And it sort of stuck. And then I used that name on when I used to play Xbox and all that kind of thing back in the day, and I sort of kept it from then, and it's just sort of followed me ever since. And I sort of noticed as years got on who the actual Tyson Fury was, and then I could try to change it on YouTube to just Tyson MD UK, which I have done now, and I took the Fury bit out because I had a few comments on one of my videos saying, "I've come to watch a boxer and I've got some bloke metal detecting." So I thought to myself, but it was sort of a name that was given to me, and it just stuck for some reason. But now everyone's calling me sort of Tezza because of Rob Random's. Just started it off, he was like Tezza, and then now everyone just says Tezza, and it's sort of stuck like that now.
Rob Random, quiet lad. You wouldn't expect him to start issuing nicknames at all.
No, not Rob. Not Rob, not at all, not Rob.
I might actually get Rob to come on the show next week because I'm not here. That'll be funny.
Oh, yeah.
One of his favourite people's the co-host next week, so I might sort of inadvertently drop Rob the link to come on the show. Let me just get me drink. One moment. Cheers, mate. Forgot to bring me drink in with me, and I'm spitting feathers already. Oh, look, Rob's saying that's right. Blame me.
He's an absolute lovely lad, Rob. I never met. What happened was I was in a few Facebook groups, and I suffer with dyslexia really bad. So it was writing a paragraph. Most people have to read between the lines, kind of thing. Mm. And I got a lot of people sort of take the mick, and it got me down a little bit. And of course, Rob sees someone saying something, and he just wrote a massive paragraph, as Rob does, and I mean literally, I thought this bloke's really nice. He didn't have to stick up for me, and of course, and then I messaged him privately and said thank you ever so much for that. And that's how I sort of got to meet Rob. And Scott and Kimmy, they were sort of like the ones that sort of helped me to write paragraphs and helped me sort of with spelling things, and because I am bad. I mean, Nigel had to message me the other day because I found a necklace on the beach the other night, and my boy, well, it's my boy who found it, and I had put in the group somebody else had found one, so I'd put, oh, my boy has found one, and he's put it round his neck now, and I'm never going to see that. And I had actually got in trouble because I think it was them keywords around your neck, and Facebook, because my spelling, so I try to cut it down, if you know what I mean, instead of writing it right. Yeah. And it sort of got me. But Nigel, what an absolute lovely bloke. He sort of messaged me straight away and said, I think that someone's took your post away, but I showed him what it was, and he was like, yeah, it happens sometimes. I think it's just the key words. But yeah, me and spelling, it's not the best of abilities that I've got.
Just had my daughter's been for the test to go get the passport for dyslexia, and she's done dyslexia. There's so many other people. You're speaking out about dyslexia now, Terry, and there's so many other people within the metal detector, within the world, but in this circumstances in the metal detecting community, who don't have the correct words or don't spell the words correctly, and there are a lot of arse heads out there who do come and give them some stick, it's for each and every one of us to stand up and say, "Shut up, bollocks!" innit? Really?
Yeah, that's
so
it. I mean, now
Rob's doing what we all should be doing. So fair play to Rob.
I mean, now, like most people, I'm so used to it now, if you know what I mean. So, like, if someone writes a message, which I did get a little while ago in one of my groups that I run, so I just messaged the man privately, and he gave me some big stick. So I just said to him, look, I'm just going to remove you from the group because we don't need to fall out over it. All you need to do is apologise. But now I just let it go over me now instead of letting it bother me, because I mean, with being sort of really good friends with Rob and Jason and all that, they're all quite thick-skinned people. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like rubbed off on me, and it's made me a lot better now.
There's not many people with a thicker skin than young Random, is there? So you used the 150 was your first machine. I mean, the 150 when I came back into metal detecting properly after years and years away from it. Oh God, how long is it now? About 12 years I had the Garrett Ace 150. I came back to it. I had an old Garrett with knobs and dials on it, and my dad's C-Scope 600 series before that. And then obviously, as I say, I came back to the Garrett 150 when it rekindled what is now my passion in this lengthy period I've been doing it. You can't knock the 150, for the price you can get it secondhand. It's always going to do what's on the tin. So moving on from the 150, where did you go from there?
I went, once I got the 150, I bought a few coils and I went straight to a 250 because someone sold me one with a big tornado coil. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I wanted the coil. So someone said, look, sold me the whole machine. So I thought, right, it's the same kind of setup. And then I sort of used that for about 3 months. And then I noticed there was a 300i at Regton. So I popped over there, got the 300i. And then I see a couple of months later, the 400, they had a 400i. They're going pretty cheap, so I thought I'd get that one. And then I sort of, when the Ace come out, it was just a sort of like a different change because you had ground balancing, multi-frequency mode, a few different little settings and that. But I really enjoyed, I must admit, I won't knock the 400i because the 400i has absolutely found me some amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. And the 300i has as well. The 300 and the 400i, the only difference was the actual numbers on the screen. I think some people said it done slightly different things, but I think more than anything it was just the numbers, the ID numbers on the front between the two different ones.
That's the Apex, yeah.
Yeah, the Apex. As soon as they brought that out, the bigger numbers on the screen were better. The machine's a lot lighter as well. It's a lot more balanced, the machine. And at first, when I used it, it had a few little issues where they had to bring out an update because it was a bit unstable when you moved it. But now, if you get used to your machine, like you say, you can't get used to it within a few months. It takes a good long time to sort of get used to the machine because the Apex is a different step up to what the 400 is. It's a lot more sensitive. It's a lot more deeper. You get I like using the multi-frequency mode, but I found recently the single frequency modes in 20 kilohertz is just as good. Still pick up the really tiny little pieces. So it's been just the Ace range, and from there onwards for me. And I think I'll stick like that because it's a machine that I know how to run, instead of going somewhere different, getting a different machine and then having to learn something all over again, because I'm not too good at it. Takes me a little bit longer than others to learn things, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the Apex now, I know it inside out. I can go out with my mates and then just set it what I know is best for that ground. And I go out and I beat some people that have got the Deus. I can beat people. It's just, if you read the machine, because my mate, he walked over certain spots with his machine. I won't say what machine he had. He walked over certain spots, and then, of course, I went over certain spots, and he was like, it's really trashy there. But if you just listen to them tiny little tones, every machine has them tiny little back tones, you can pull out some really nice stuff. And sometimes you can pull out loads and loads of cans, like I did the other day, which was a bonus.
It was a toss-up. I went down to Regden's between Boxing Day and New Year last year, and I was playing with the Apex, and I was toying with buying the Apex, and it was a toss-up between that and the Vanquish. The fact that the favourite machine I've ever had was the Xterra 705, which I bought back and shouldn't have. That relationship with the Mind Lab sort of twisted it for me at that point. So currently I'm a Mind Lab Vanquish, but it was a fine line between that and the Apex, and I did play with that a lot while I was down at the store.
The Vanquish, is that the multi IQ? It runs on the multi IQ, doesn't it?
You don't know me, Terry. Metal detector, it's a 540 and it does things. I don't know. Most people, like some of the people I've gone out, and people that I know now have got the 150. Somebody that I met recently, he's got the 30. Is it the 3030? That's it. He's got one of them, and I mean, they know it's the way they sort of, he knows the machine sort of spotted. I picked this machine up. I sort of went along the floor. I thought to myself, God, I don't know what I'm doing, and it was all different tones. So it depends. I mean, like he does. Once you start using the machine for so many years, you sort of get so used to stuck to it, and it's the same with me. And then once when I first got the Reaper coil, the bigger coil, it's better for bigger land. I was finding some big stuff, but it has different parts of the coil, has different spots for pinpointing. Because I don't like using the button
for pinpointing on a machine. I like to use the front edge of the coil, and of course, as you get different coils, and like the bigger coil has it set just behind the coil slightly, where the other coil has it set just in front of it. So once you learn your machine and the apex, I'd say if anyone's new at metal detecting, I'd say definitely go for an easy machine. You've got the apex there, which is it's quite easy. I mean, if you're brand new to metal detecting, the apex is a little bit difficult to start using straight away, but the advice that's online now that you can get, I mean, I get a lot of messages from people asking what's the best settings for this and what's the best coil and things like that, and I love giving advice. I mean, they try to read my writing, so I send voice messages.
When you say about, obviously you're stuck with Garrett, I mean, I've known Digger Dawn probably longer than 95% of the people in the metal detecting community that I know, and she's stuck with Garrett, and it suits her. And why change? There's no reason to change. It suits her. She's a great ambassador for the brand. Yeah. You know, she's been a revelation in some respects to a lot of people in the metal detecting community.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, sticking with the one. I've chopped and changed, Terry, and you know, in some cases, I wish I hadn't. Some of the machines, they've lasted a matter of seconds because it just wasn't. As we know, I'm a bit of a technophobe when it comes to metal detecting. I just don't. To me, it's just plug and play. And what I've got at the moment, the Mind Lab Vanquish, it is for me plug and play. There's a little bit that goes on behind the scenes, but I don't have to play with that, so I'm happy.
That's it. Once you get used to something, and you're trying to change it to something else, and then you have to reset it all up again, then you're out metal detecting, you're learning your machine, you're having to start all the way from the beginning again. And with, as I say, once the 400 and they brought out the Apex, there wasn't a massive change, if you know what I mean. I mean, they brought out the multi-frequency mode in it. The ground balance, you get to self-ground balance it. You've got another extra sensitivity. You've got the backlight. I mean, really, really nice machine. And I mean, literally the amount I found with it, but I found a lot of stuff with the 400 as well. So I've still got all my machines from the Ace 150 right up to the Ace Apex on my wall. She keeps saying to me, "Why don't you sell one?" I can't sell them. I can't sell none of them. They've become part of me.
Why don't you go and sell something of yours, lady?
Oh, she would. You know, we never say things like that. But I'm
all right. Mine are all up in my office, but basically hidden. You don't see them. There's a dark area that you don't see them. I can see them. I'm happy.
So, how long have you been metal detecting for? Like, since you was real?
Terry, honestly, it's a weird thing. It's so basically, there's a photograph of me with my dad in 1978. So I was born in 74. So I was metal detecting him and my uncle, and then my other uncle around Cheshire, sites that they used to go to, like Frodgerville. I know you won't know, it's just a hillside with some caves and that, and you'd only find crap but around there. And then on beaches of Anglesey where my uncle lived and what have you. I can't actually remember. I can vaguely remember something, but I can't actually remember it. But that was when I was a kid. And then sort of like, when would it have been? When there was a blow? It's about 1997, 1998, 1999-ish. I came back into the subject. A former friend of mine, he was a metal detector. So like, why didn't you get one? And he was surveying a site in Anglesey for Cadw, which is like the Welsh version of national monuments and what have you. So he took me to one of the meetings for West Kirby Metal Detecting Club, which I automatically become a member of, even though I didn't have a metal detector. There was a guy there who sold metal detectors, so I bought a Garrett off him, but it was knobs and whistles, so I haven't even got a clue what that was. So it's very, very pre the Ace range. Sort of like we went there more or less every weekend to Anglesey, and I didn't find anything because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Mark Ollie, who you might have seen our guest on the show a number of times in the past, he's an archaeologist, and basically we were employed. I don't mean by money as in employed to do a job. We were on his sites in Warrington and North Wales, We did obviously the archaeology as well, but we were doing the site as well. And obviously, nothing we kept, everything went straight to him for part of the story of the archaeological site. And then I sort of fell away with it because I had other hobbies and such like that I was doing. And then I think it was, as I say, about 11 years ago now, I just thought, I really want to do. Well, to be honest, I was doing another subject, and the landlord of the pub, which was me local, him and his mate were always sat at the end of the bar doing the fines. And I'm like, are you going to have to come out with us? I've got a metal detector. You have to get a metal detector. Got a metal detector, started going out of them. And I'll be honest with you, of all the people who've shown me anything to do with metal detecting, Graham Withers, who used to be the landlord of the church house in Congleton, I can't thank anybody more than I can thank Graham because of what he showed me, taking me on his sites, in my infancy. Since COVID, we formed a group, Tempest, and there was about 15 of us when we went on, obviously, digs. Since COVID, obviously, that sort of hasn't resurrected itself ever since. So I've been going with Shane Holdcroft, Staffordshire Searcher, and our little band of friends. So it's I'll get back out with Graham before long. It's just the font of all knowledge. He's just, what's this, Graham? And he'll tell you, and he's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, because you Google it as he's telling you. And
yeah, a lot of people that know when you're out with them. I mean, I'm usually on my own because not many people around here used to do it. Since I've put certain things up in certain groups, I won't lie, I've seen more metal detectorists than I could swing a thing at. They're everywhere. They're everywhere now, all over the place. I thought to myself, oh, right. And some of them are like, I met these 3 people the other week. My farmer would give them permission to be on there. Well, my farmer rents it out, and that farmer give permission. So we share in it, and what an absolute lovely bunch of people they are. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be getting out a little bit more, sort of like with other people as well, doing a little bit of metal detecting, which would be a bonus. Because on your own, it don't get boring, but it's just you find something, you look around, you want to shout something to someone. There's no one about. Literally, the cows are looking at you because you're bouncing about, and there's no one to share it with. So the first thing I'll do is I'll get straight on the phone, send it straight to the group chat, because I'm in a group chat with some people, and I'll send it to them. And I love it. I just literally love it. So, I mean, even if I don't find anything good, I ain't found nothing really good for the last 2 or 3 trips, apart from going down the beach finding pound coins. It's just getting out and enjoying it. I mean, I don't have to find anything just to enjoy being out, because sometimes, I mean, I've got four kids. They're not really kids. One's 20, one's 18, one's 16, and one's 10. So,
Terry, you don't look old enough.
Oh, I've got 2 older ones than that. One's 24 and one's 20. They live in Manchester.
Good Lord, man, you must have started when you were about 14.
I didn't have a TV. I did have my first one when I think I was 18 when I had my first one, and then sort of 20 I think it was second, and then of course I met someone new, and we've been together for 21 years now, and we got 4 lovely kids, and I still see my other 2. The other 2 still ring me to give me enough grief. He's doing this, he's doing that. I mean, they're old enough now, but they still tell me to ring each other up to have a go at them because they're doing something wrong. And the other day I turned my phone off. I thought, no more.
If you're ever up this way at Manchester, then with them, and you bring your metal detector, give me a shout, because I'm only half hour south of Manchester.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's weird how much they speak. They used to live down here, but their mother sort of moved them up there. And when he comes down, the accent. He brings bottles of water with him, Dave. I won't lie. He brings bottles of water. And I say to him, why have you bought water? He's like, water down here don't taste right. He says, it don't. I honestly tell you, Dad, it tastes. I said to him, there's nothing wrong with it. It tastes the same wherever you go. But every time he comes down, he brings 5 or 6, 2-3 litre bottles of water.
Surely you've heard mine and Adrian's arguments. The beer down there is rubbish because the water's crap.
I always say to him, it tastes all right, and he won't have it. If he has to go up the shop and buy water, he just will not drink water from down here. But the accent
I've just got to say hello in the chat room. I've got to say hello to Dan Spencer. I've not seen him for a while. We had a chat a couple of weeks ago via Messenger. Hiya, Dan, hope you're well, and look forward to seeing you at RCM and Detectable. And to everybody else in the chat room tonight, there's one or two people that I've not seen on there before. Welcome to the show. There's usually my co-host Adrian's with us normally. Unfortunately, he's got a family thing tonight. So normally it's much more fluid, and Adrian knows what he's on about, and I don't. So please come back. It's normally better. It'll be even better next week and the week after because I'm not on. Talking of which, next week, guest co-host Kerry Fuller of the Lost Tape of History podcast. Look it up; it's on all your good providers. Our guest is Brian Goodsir Thompson from Monarch Designs. They make the little coin pods and such like. So Brian will be on, and I think James Newman will be coming on as well. That's Adrian's partner in crime when he goes metal detecting. And I'm hoping Kerry asks him lots of questions about what Adrian's like behind the scenes in reality. Oh, how I wish I was on the show for that one, because I really would like to know more. I bet he's a very naughty boy behind the scenes. The following week, I'll be away again, and that will be a review of Detecticon, because Detecticon takes place on a week on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for those of you up in Northumberland for that, have a great event. Scotty B, really, really, really wish I was there. The Arc MD mag will be represented by Shane Holdcroft, Staffordshire Searcher, that weekend. He's still got to come and pick the banners up and such like, and they'll be there. Plus, obviously, past copies of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. Ones, I think, which will actually have the reporting from last year's Detecticon and the images from the scattered Roman hordes that were found there. So I know Shane's absolutely can't wait for Detecticon. And as I said, we'll be at the Congleton Medieval Festival, Midland Detecting Days events, RCM, and Detectable as well. And also, we've got coming in the next couple of weeks, just throwing a few more things in there while I remember. We also have, let me go to the running order because I'm forgetful and don't write things down when I should. We have tonight, Terry Reid, that's you. We have on the 11th of August, Mark Becker will be joining us to talk all about Detectable 2022. And on the 25th of August, that's our next guest that we've got. So we've got the 18th of August available at the moment, and then the whole of September thereafter. If you'd like to join us, please give me a shout. Terry will tell you how easy it is. It's easy, isn't it, Terry? Simple.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
A lot of people get very, very nervous, but it's just two people chatting.
Just chatting, yeah. I've not got the chat on, so I can't see what's being said in the chat. Because I thought to myself, because when I've done other lives and you get to start reading that chat bit, I start ending up sort of disappearing over to the chat. I do.
Well, there's some very nice things being said. Scott Owens keeps making some barbed comments. I take it you and Scott Owens are good pals.
Scotty's. I've had a bit of a low time last few weeks ago, and Scotty Owens was sort of texting me every day and giving me a little bit of motivation.
His last comment was, "You look smaller tonight, Tezza."
I think it's this top. I boiled it off my boy, and he's a little bit thinner than me. So if I was to stand up, it's probably rolled up,
like a boob tube.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
The 25th of August, we have YouTube's Argent Detectorists with Julie Argent and family. Wanted to speak to Julie for a while and her family as well. Some great videos there. What's that about there? I'll have to message my wife back in a minute. I'm getting asked one of those questions that's pertinent to reality.
I get that all the time. Well, she asked me to do something like the other day. She said, "Can I do something?" And I said, "I'll do it in a minute." And she kicked off over it. She said, "Everything's always in a minute." Well, it's because I'm busy doing what you asked me to do just 2 seconds ago. I can't. She thinks I've got 4 pairs of hands, but I don't row with her because she has to cook dinner because I'm no too good.
We're men. We can multitask.
I've tried that. It's not. I'm okay at multitasking as long as it's too easy jobs. Anything that's difficult. She always says to me, "I'll write the jobs down what you need to do, and you can do them. She'll write the jobs down. I can't read them, so I miss out. I say to her, "There's no point. You have to send it by voice and leave it on my phone because I can't do it. I'm no good at cooking. I cooked the kids dinner the other day, burnt chicken nuggets. How'd you burn chicken nuggets? I mean, I tried to hide it though by turning the dark side over, so it looked good though. But he noticed.
Teddy, I've got a great get out for that. When you do it in the future, just boil some sweet and sour sauce up and put it on top. You won't know the difference then. It's just sweet and sour chicken. Always thinking.
I'll try that next time. They don't like me cook. They don't like me cooking.
Bolognese sauce. Throw the bolognese sauce over it.
I've burnt quite a few stuff in my time. I mean, literally chicken nuggets, fish fingers. I'm okay if I'm cooking chicken because it says how long you have to leave it in there for, and I throw that in there. I'm okay with things like that, but chicken nuggets, it says 15 minutes on the packet. You can't leave chicken nuggets in there for 15 minutes. You go back and they're dehydrated. I mean, you can hear the chicken rattling around inside the little thing. Like, I was like, that can't be right. So
next time, just do an Uber from McDonald's and do it the easy way.
I'll just run around a chip shop. I do it all the time. I'm like, nah, they want chips. They've asked me for chips. They've not even asked me for nothing.
Adrian, unfortunately, Adrian's just messaging. He won't be joining us at all tonight. So hope all goes well there anyway.
Yeah,
so,
I hope everything's all right with her.
He actually says, say hi to Terry and apologise for him not being here tonight. So anyway.
When it's family matters, it's got to be family first, isn't it? At the end of the day,
I said, go away, mate. Family come first.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Then I was going to say, oh yeah, the pertinent question was, my lad have today off school, and it's the last day of school tomorrow, primary school. Can he have tomorrow off? Yes.
Yeah, my boy. I said to him, we want to go out tomorrow. I won't lie. I hope none of the school teachers are watching because one of them.
All I got was they're not going to be doing anything in school tomorrow anyway.
No, that's it. He's going to be watching videos like he's already said. But one of the school teachers follows me. But they did say to me today, I don't think you're going to see many kids. But the other day, I took him to school in the hottest day. No, the day before that, he come home and he's pale. My boy Terry. He's like really white. And he got a little bit of sun, and he come back. He felt sick, laid down. So next day I didn't send him, and then the day after that I sent him to school. But the day when it was really hot, all them kids that were at school, about 9 or 10 of them were all off because they was all heat stroke. So in a way, I was glad I kept him off. But
I
can't keep him off when they don't need to be off. Oh, he's a pain.
The thing was though, Terry, when we were kids, you're 43, I'm 48. When we were kids, last day of school. It wasn't looking forward to it because your last day at school. You look forward to it because you were allowed to take your games in, weren't you?
Yeah, that was it.
Mousetrap and all that and play that.
Yeah. I remember the days of Mousetrap. I still remember them.
Mate. Them last days were the best days ever. Kids don't know the ball now.
No, that's it. I mean, now it's all computers, really. I mean, I've got my boy who comes out of me metal detector and he doesn't like to be on camera. He doesn't like it because he's got mental health issues. So I don't record him because he doesn't really like it. But he comes at me, but computers these days, they've all got gaming PCs. And literally, there's no activities. They don't, I mean, I won't lie, they're lazy. I say to them all the time, you're lazy. You've got to get out and do something. Sign me up. He says, sign me up to the gym. I say to him, so you want me to sign you up to the gym, but you don't do anything else. You just want to go to the gym, come home, play your computer. 2 hours fitness at the gym, that ain't going to, but kids are really, really hard work these days. Really, really. I think we give in more to the kids these days than what our parents give in to us.
Absolutely.
My mum used to.
Can I just say to people, there's a few questions for Terry, which I'm going to get to now. But if anybody does have any questions for Terry, and we will be going over to the... can we do that? We'll try and go over to the spin the coil later, but I can't see the screen when that's happening. So we'll have to see how that works. Chris Langston asked the first question, Terry. It's a very, very, very good question. It's probably the most important question you'll be asked within the next couple of weeks, no doubt. What is your favourite hob ring?
This one's got me.
When you go in cooking on your stove, you've got your four things.
My best ones. The favourite ring on the hob has got to be it's got to be the front bottom, the one that's closest to the right.
Terry, think about health and safety and knocking it off when you're walking past.
Shit, but I never think of that. You see, I always say, like, the kids always never come in the kitchen usually anyway. I have to sort of like bang on the floors and that, or shout their name. My other boy, his bedroom's at the front. I actually go out the front door, look up at his bedroom window. Oi, dinner's ready. Oh, I'm down in a minute. So they don't usually sort of come in the kitchen. But yeah, I always use the front two obs. I never use the back ones. Too far to reach over for me.
Eagle Eye DJ says it's Scotty B's last day at school tomorrow. Definitely. Rob Random says Tezza took Scrabble into last day of school. He won every game.
I did as well. They couldn't make up the words. I said they were in the dictionary. Don't you worry about that.
Dan Spencer from Search Your Mouth asks, are you going to any of the big events this year?
I was going to Detectival, but I've got the Medway rally. I'm doing the Medway rally. And I think the Jonah Allen one has got one down in Kent near me, so I'll be. But the Detectival this year, I can't really do because they're all too close together.
Yeah.
And of course, because I've got four. Well, they're not 4 kids, but one of them, the oldest one, because he's got issues, he's always with me, but he wouldn't go to a place like that, if you know what I mean. So. Yeah. It's spending too much time away. So I'm going to do the 2 this year, and then next year, because my boys away, 2 of them away in Spain away. So next year I'm going to just do as many as I can really, and get to meet everyone. Because I got to meet some nice people this year at Detectival. Well, last year at Detectival, Rob Random, Jason, Kimmy and Scott, Stephen Pettigan. What an absolute funny legend he is. And Rob and Robert Hunter Collinson and all the people, and Dig It Mark, I got to meet them all, and they were exactly how they are when you're actually live. So it just clicked onto everyone just like that, and then met people when I was there. So I really want to do it again, but this year, as I say, it's going to be just the 2 rallies this year.
As Dan Spencer says, there are a hell of a lot of big rallies now, and it's hard to pick and choose. They are so close together. I mean, I've already booked my holidays off, me couple of days off work to do Rodney Cook Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because we're going live on the Thursday from there. And Detectable Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll go first thing, 4 o'clock on the Friday morning. I'll go down to Detectable. But there are obviously the rest. I'm only getting away with going to the Midland one because it's 10 minutes from my house. So that's the only way I'm getting away with that. And I'll take the lad with me, and he'll sit on the stall all day and then probably sit in the shade on his tablet, bloody watching whatever on that. So that's the only way I'll get away with that. But yeah, there's so many. I'd have loved to have gone to the Just Detect one, but unfortunately we'd already confirmed to go to Detectable, and obviously we can't be spread our butter that thin. Joan Allen's, for me, it's way too far away. The LP one's way too far away. Luke's got to be at that one. I think Luke might also be at the Joan Allen one. Detecticon, I'm in Turkey, so, can't do that. And I really did like that one last year. It was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Detectable and what have you, the people come from all over the place. But I've got an affinity with Scotland and all that area. So all them people there, it was just a totally different atmosphere to anywhere else.
That's what Scotty Owen said. Scotty Owen said that it was mainly all the people from up that end, from far up north, he said, and it was like, because with Scott when he said his voice messages, because the accent's a bit different, like, but I can understand him as sweet as a nut now, so I'll be all right for next year going to up there.
So yeah, there are so many. So it's just wish I could spread myself more thick, more thin. Thick up there, you know what I'm on about. So Teddy, your hoard that you found, as you said, it was a span of around 200 years. How did you actually come across it? Because you sent me some videos. Obviously, there was a lot of videos that you took of that, and some with the archaeologists and such like. How did it actually come about that you found the first coins within that?
Well, it started off when I first was on that site before they was on there. I was finding little hammered coins because it's quite close to an 18th century pub. People used to walk across the field to get there. So I always knew there was no footpath, but I never knew that. I mean, I've only ever had one Roman off there, one Roman and one silver Roman, but I never thought there was a lot of occupation there because there was only ever 2 coins found in about 2 years. And when they turned up on the site and he was explaining what they're going to be doing, as I say, the first time I was there, they come over, said to me, look, we don't want you being here. So I sort of just left. Because I walked my dog up that way because it's right between 2 fields. He come over and started talking to me the next day. Said, "Look, I apologise. Shouldn't have really got a bit grumpy with you." And then from there, he said, "Do you want to come and give us hands?" So I said, "Yeah." He said, "Right, metal detect the spoils when we're not here because you can get on the spoils." He said, "But don't metal detect the actual site itself." He said, "That's what you're not allowed to do that because it's against the law." So there was a bit that they had already cut out that was on another part, and he said, "Do you want to metal detect that and you can have a little look around?" And literally as soon as I stepped in a hole that was about 3 foot deep, it was, and he said, "Keep in the grey line." As soon as I got in that grey line, it was just coin, and we was just marking them, and then they have someone come with you, and they just to make sure, do you know what I mean? Because I was a new person to it, so they don't actually 100% trust you. Yeah. But now he absolutely trusts me like anything. But it was the first coins I found was a few little minims at first, and then after that it just spread it out into Celtic coins. There's a few Celtic coins that are in there. There was a Viking coin that was found in there as well. Saxon coin that was found. I found a Saxon Edward Confessor coin that was in there, which was almost brand. It looked brand new. It looked like it had just been dropped and made that day. And what else? I mean, when we first started finding the Romans, my little boy, the youngest one, Tells with me, and he found his first couple of Romans. And I said to the person, well, as we're walking through, there's more signals. He said, "Oh, look, I'll help you." So at first, as I say, we marked them, and then after that, we just dug them. But there was a massive signal at the edge of this part, which we sprayed, but they said, "We'll leave that until Monday." And when we went back Monday, it was already dug out, if you know what I mean. Someone had gone in there with a digger and just sort of dug it out. But he said there was only 30 Saint coins there, apparently. Apparently so, anyway.
Mental. So, do you know what the total tally is of the coins that have been brought from that area?
Altogether, I found 168. That's including 4 silver Romans, silver Saxon, silver Viking coin. So they're sort of just gone up through the years. But I think altogether they had about 300 and something altogether.
So about 500 coins total.
About that altogether, and some of them, as I say, they were not just all Roman. Some of them were Celtic, like Celtic coins, and some of them, as I say, there was 1 or 2. There was a silver Roman in there and a silver Saxon coin, which was really nice. I've got a couple of they're like staters, but they're bronze staters. A couple of nice little tiny bronze staters, which are really, really nice coins. So altogether, about 300 and something that altogether they had, and about 500 and something altogether. But they did have about 15 to 20 silver ones. They did. I only had 5.
Mm. So where in the processes do we stand now, Terry? Obviously, all these coins, they've come and gone from the archaeologists themselves. But when it comes to the Finds Liaison Officer and obviously the Finds.org and whatnot, Portable Antiquity Scheme, where in the process are we now?
Right. Well, what happens now is because they basically have their own flow site. Basically, their archaeologists have like their own set person. So because I was working with them, most of the stuff I give to them, and what they do is at the end of it, they'll write up a report and tell you exactly everything that was found there. And he said to me, because what happened was, once I started finding a few, I brought a video out.
Yeah. And
as soon as I brought a video out, we went over there one day because it's not far from my house. It's only over the back of literally about a 2-minute walk. There was other metal detectors on that site, and I went over and sort of kicked them off. And that's why I haven't brought the videos out yet, because he doesn't want people sort of going over there metal detecting it. So he said we'll keep it as that. So as soon as they've almost finished now, so the videos will be out soon. But they're also going to give me a list of everything they found, because they've actually finished on that site. But they're on another site, which is, as I say, that's the videos I've sent you recently. Nothing's really coming up there. There's a lot of like old buildings, but nothing sort of anything sort of good come up. And then there's one further up that's got the bone whistle and a few burials there, but that's
I'm
main
pretty
side.
sure I've seen a bone whistle advertised on a news article over the last week or so. Pretty sure I've seen that. But when you do have access to the report, I'd love to read that, Terry.
Oh,
I'd love to see the range of finds to that particular area, because that's fascinating, knowing so many different coins of such magnitude and in such an area. It sounds brilliant.
It's at first I thought they'd have been all the same emperor, but then as he was looking through them, he was showing you set emperor, so they was putting them into certain piles. You had certain pile here, then there was one or two coins that were Celtic, so they was on their own, and it's the amount of different coins in that one spot. It must have been occupied, like someone had first settled there, and then other people have moved in there, and they've always sort of like kept it. But because it's so close to Canterbury, the amount of Roman stuff you can find is amazing. I mean, I found my first ever fibula. It's not the best. It's only a tiny little thing, but that's one of the main things I've always. I mean, I love coins, but I actually do love my military stuff.
Yeah,
I swap coins all day for the military stuff. But as soon as they give me that report of everything that was found, I'll send it to you as well, and I'm going to stick it up on all my groups as well to show you what exactly was found. 'Cause at the golf course, they found a hippopotamus's bone, a hip bone, and apparently it was in an old pit, but the golf course was there, and they dug it out. And then when I spoke to the archaeologist, he said, well, what it was years ago, we was basically almost connected to France. Basically, there was this little place called Doggerland. Apparently, if you look it up, this is a bit of land that used to connect.
Nothing to do
us.
what people do in cars.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing to do with none of that. But it's called Doggerland, and literally, it was a little bit of marshy land that connected us to France, and they believe that all kinds of animals then sort of like were in this country. So some of the stuff that they actually find, but as I say, you've got to dig deep. These Roman coins were up to my waist before I actually found them, if you know what I mean. And they was there, and all the stuff they had already scooped off. There must have been coins in that bit, but that was underneath a 6-foot pile now, because as they were digging it out and they were dumping it, there was laying more on top, and I couldn't go there and do it every time they dumped, because if something happens to you while machines are driving about, then they're not insured. You're not insured, basically. So he said you can only come on when they're not moving their machines about and stuff. But now everything's moving fast. The builders are in there, pipes are going in. There's a bit of field right next to me, literally about 3 houses up, and there's this pile of mud which must be about 30 foot high. And every time I walk out my house, I look down the end and I can just see it. And I said to him the other day, can I get over and have a metal detector? And that, he said, do what you want, mate. He said, as long as you ain't walking all the way around the other end, because it's still on the same site. Yeah. And he's an absolute legend. I took him a drink over earlier just to like sweeten it up so I can just get on there. Like,
don't have to go to the beach tonight. Just go on the hill next to your house.
Oh no, that's pitch black. I'm not too good on my feet, Dave. And of course, it's been bulldozered, so it's got them little track marks. It's be down like that, ankle busted. That's all I don't need.
So, obviously, Diggers Den Tyson Fury is your YouTube. What are your Facebook groups?
I've got an Apex Facebook group, and there's a Garrett group, and Brothers Extreme group as well, which I'm admin of 2. I run one of them myself, which is a Apex group.
What's and the name of the Apex group, Terry?
Apex Worldwide.
And the Garrett one?
The Garrett is Garrett Worldwide one. I think that one is as well.
And the other one was Brothers Extreme.
Yeah, they're that one is quite a new one. Me and Dig It Mart started that a little while back, and now we're just starting to add new bits to it and sort of like up everything.
So obviously, if you're a Garrett user, go and have a look at the Garrett Worldwide group. Or if you're not, even if you're an Apex user, Apex Worldwide, and the other group with what was your friend's name? Sorry, Mark.
Mark, Dig It Mark, yeah. Brothers Extreme, yeah.
Brothers Extreme. So pop on over to if you like your Facebook groups. I don't join as many Facebook groups anymore. I keep getting invites, but I'm on so many that I don't actually visit them, so it's not worth me being there, really.
I just noticed mine earlier when I went to click on And then I've got a list of about 20, and I thought to myself, oh, I never knew I had so many groups. And one or two of the groups are not even metal detecting. I don't know who's tried to add me to these groups, and I've accepted. But yeah. They're not metal detecting groups. So I clicked on it early, and it was saying crazy out of the world, and I thought, well, I'll quickly leave that one. I don't need that one. But it's crazy.
Talking of Facebook groups, I'd like to obviously thank all of the group owners and moderators and admins who allow us to post the Big Detecting Show on there, and much appreciate that. And obviously, I also appreciate everybody who just shares it personally to other groups or themselves as well. Very much appreciate that. It's a bit weird. We've found out the last week or so, Terry, that the analytics that we see from YouTube and Facebook only tell me directly. Obviously, you can see the YouTube ones, but the analytics on Facebook only tell me what I'm a moderator of, the analytics.
Oh, yeah.
So, for instance, if the show is shared to 200 groups, I'm only seeing how many people are watching on 5 groups. I don't see.
Oh, I see.
The other,
because it's been shared, isn't it? That's.
Yeah. It doesn't show. If it was a moderator of 200 groups, I'd get all the analytics. It's a bit mental. So and then if I don't post to your group, I do apologise, because I try not to bombard. I do a weekly bombard, and that's about it. Everything else is shared. All the news articles to the Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine Facebook page, and all the anything metal detecting related to the Big Detecting Show Facebook group, which is it.
I try to do the best I can with groups and that, but sometimes with doing your channel, metal detecting, and your groups, it's sometimes it's sort of hard.
And work, and home.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. So I try to get through as many groups as I can, but most people that post in their own group usually post in my group, one of my groups anyway. So I usually get to see the finds, or if not, I try and watch all their videos as much as I can.
Facebook user, you can share to our group, Dave, East of England Rallies. I don't know who you are, that person, simply because, as I was just saying about not seeing analytics, when you come up on the side screen in our chat, it comes up as Facebook user, because I'm not a moderator or admin of whatever group you're watching it in. So appreciate that, and I'll have a look out for East of England Rallies. I like the East of England, and it's only to the east of me, so it should be all right. More or less in the Midlands. Terry, I'm going to go now, and I'm going to spin the coil because I can, basically. So while I'm spinning said coil, I won't be able to see the main screen. So I'll do some questions, and then anybody, as I said before, if you do have any questions for Terry, I will jump onto them when I'm able to see the screen in a moment. So as you can see, sharing the screen, and now I can't see anything but a big coil. Oh no, I'm an idiot. I pressed stop sharing. I'm supposed to press spin the coil, and instead of press stop sharing.
I don't push buttons anymore because I'm bad pushing stuff. I end up coming out of live streams and things like that. I do.
So you've seen this before, Terry. You know all about it, and I'll try and decipher if one of them questions that Adrian's put on. I'll just try and decipher it. What shampoo do you use?
Washing up liquid.
Good lad. Bit of fairy.
Yeah. Well, it's because when I wash my face now, whatever I'm using, I've got no hair now, Dave. So it's totally gone. And of course, I got sunburn the other day, so I won't be taking my hat off again.
Next up, I can't be asked. I'm going to have to make a tune for this. What is totally non-related metal detecting, but one of my
favourite cake?
Favourite cake.
If I was to eat a cake, it's got to be that cheesecake, that strawberry cheesecake. That is banging. That I love strawberry cheesecake. I could eat a whole one.
Cheesecake.
Oh yeah, that's making me hungry.
Quality, you see, if you go to Iceland and get a poor quality cheesecake, it's just not worth the effort.
No,
it's got to be a proper decent one. Yeah.
I go to Iceland to get them. They're thick, big, thick cheesecake like that. It's making me hungry thinking of that now.
Don't bring me cheesecake to Detectable or Rodney Cook or anything though, because it might curdle by the time you get there.
I think of bringing something. I've got some chocolate muffins. They're quite good.
Ooh, I like a nice muffin. How long until you sort your finds out after you've been detecting?
They're still they're still in a box somewhere. That was last week's ones. Because I like to keep all the lead in that, and I've got a melting pot for the lead. So I'll make a pile on. And my wife don't like it because as soon as I come home from metal detecting, I go straight in the kitchen. I start emptying my pockets out on the side. Of course, she's just cleaned and out. She's like she puts them in the old containers that you put your washing tabs in.
Yeah,
and I got about 4 of them on the side that have just got just finds in. But if I find coins and stuff, I usually like to put them in a little pot thing, leave them, and then let them dry for a couple of days and go back, see if I can get any sort of pattern off of them.
Mm-hmm. Do you have you tried the composite cleaning pencils at all on your finds?
Well, I first started off was colouring. You remember before I met Graham Dempsey, I used to colour my coins in with a pencil, just like a normal colouring pencil.
Right.
And then Graham Dempsey messaged me and he went, "Have you ever heard of this?" And he sort of sent me one. And I met sort of Graham Dempsey for the first time at Detectival, but I've been messaging him. We've been talking for a good couple of years when he first started out. And I'll tell you what, an absolute lovely bloke he is. Absolute lovely bloke. He's
not many nicer.
Yeah, no, he's always been there for me. And he messaged me, if he hasn't spoke to me in a couple of weeks, he'll message me and say, "How you doing, Tel? Not heard anything. Like, I haven't heard from you in a while." And he's always there. If you ever need any help with anything, he'll be there to talk to you. Same with Marcus and Nigel. Whenever I need anything, like any help with anything, what absolute nice people that I've sort of got to meet. And the Blackadder crew, I got to meet them as well. And they're absolutely brilliant people. Really, really nice sort of people you got to meet metal detecting.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many nicer people out there, especially not in the metal detecting community. Everyone that I've met in the metal detecting community has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, me and Graham getting out. I had to text him back the other day and said, "Graham, you realise I never watch TikTok videos." that's our relationship, memes and odd videos. I think Graham, did I send you the one? No, I don't think I did. I best send you them. Oh no, he sent me a YouTube video this time, which is new for him. Let me just send him this because I haven't sent him this. Where is it? He'll like this. He will make a comment in the chat when I've sent him this. It's on its way, friends. It's on its way. Next up, I can't say what it is on air. I really can't. Rob Random, I'll send me your phone number and I'll WhatsApp them you. What do you dig with?
Well, I've got 2 spades. One of them I can't talk about yet because it's brand new, made by Blackadder. So keep your eyes out. They've also got something to connect to the Gladius spade, which is a finds a trowel pouch which you can connect to the spade.
Brilliant.
So that I can't. They'll be shown in the near future, but at the moment I'm using the Blackadder Gladius spade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brilliant spade. Absolutely, it works perfect for me. Before I was using a £9.99 spade from B&Q's, which I'd cut into a V.
Yeah,
and it didn't go too well. The wooden bit snapped, so I thought it was time to invest in one. And Blackadder sent me one out, which was a nice Gladius spade. And I'll tell you what, wicked spade. But the new spade, keep your eye out because it's an absolute lovely spade.
I can't. Nathan and Matthew, whenever we only ever meet up at Detectable, and I have a right good laugh with them. I really do. I think Matthew went bed early last year, and Nathan joined us, and we were highly inebriated last year, drinking pineapple rum and amongst other things. And I think it was homemade Polish, might have been vodka. I think that's what tipped me over the edge, to be honest. Yeah, I was in a proper state after that. But yes, can't speak highly enough of the Blackadder lads.
Yeah,
when I went down to see Regdon's at Christmas, Aaron said, "Dave, you go downstairs. Nathan and Matthew's dad's doing a delivery." So I went down and had a chat with the dad as well. And again,
yeah, they're nice. It's everyone I sort of got to meet like that. So Blackadder, I mean, Marcus. I mean, I knew Nigel from when I first started metal detecting. I didn't know, and this is the honest truth, I didn't know he owned Regton's because he was just a friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I started talking to him all the time, and then what an absolute lovely bloke, sort of Marcus and Nigel are, and of course he helped me with so much stuff. Anything in a group that someone needs help with, like something wrong with a coil or something wrong with a machine or anything like that, Marcus and Nigel are straight on it, and they're giving advice. Like, so everyone's been an absolute amazing help this year. Without them guys, then I'd probably be stuck, because I have an illness, so I can't really afford a lot. So they help me out, and they have been absolutely amazing. They have absolutely amazing. So thank you very much, guys.
I've got to say that at every event that I'm at where Marcus and Nigel and Pete from LP are at, whenever I always obviously get there before all the participants in metal detecting, get there a little bit early, and I always try and have half an hour with them, and I'm just, put the world to rights, have a chat, see how each other are, tell you about the history of LP, tell you about the history of Regdens, and I really do look forward to meeting all the people and having a chat with them before everybody else is there and it gets a bit mad. So I'll be looking forward to that come September. Next question. What lunch do you take out when detecting?
I don't actually take. I take a drink. I take more drink than I don't really eat when I'm out, because of this illness that I got recently. Well, I don't eat a lot, so I eat a tiny bit in the mornings, and then I sort of go out for about 4 or 5 hours. I take a drink, but I don't eat. I don't eat when I'm out. That's one thing I don't do. I'd rather come back and then eat in the evening time.
I don't eat when I'm out either. Actually, Terry, honestly, I actually don't, and the reason why is because I forget. I'm too engrossed in what I do, and you always take something to eat with me, and I always get back to the car at the end of the day and realise I've not eaten it.
Yeah, that's
and then eat it and then have my tea.
I do that. I do take something, but where I always say to myself, right, I'm going to stop after this next signal, and then I find something that's a little bit of lead, and I say, right, no, let's carry on. I'll stop after this next one, and then, of course, the time I've done that and I've stopped to have a break for 10 minutes, had a drink, carried on, because I've got to pick up my boy at 3 o'clock. I only get a certain time, so 9 till 3. I'll get out for about 4 or 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Get back, and then I will eat a lot. When I come back, I don't stop. I won't lie. The other day I opened the fridge, and because I'm starting to get better in myself, I'm eating more now. The other day I emptied the fridge. I won't lie. I was just eating anything that was in there that I don't even like. I was just eating it. It'd been left there for weeks. I don't even know if it was in date.
Just like me, Terry. I'll make this the last question on Spin the Wheel. Well, I don't want that one. Let's have another one. I'm not bothered about Benson's and Silk Court. What do your friends and family think about your metal detecting?
My dad, he wants to sort of come with me, but he can't leave the house, so but they're interested. But you go round and you start talking about it, because me, once I'm at a family party, I've turned into the local archaeological person. I'm sitting there, I'm telling people all these Romans and all these battles that have gone on. They're sitting there looking at me thinking, yeah, we're at a party, we don't want to hear this. But some of my friends, they sort of enjoy me showing the stuff off. The first thing they always say is, what's that worth then? What's that worth? Is that worth anything? It's not what it's worth. It's your part. It's your find. Yeah. But most of them, I always say to them, they got their little hobbies. One of them plays football and he's in the worst team ever, so I just wind him up for that. So, but it's enjoyable. It's something I like, so all my friends understand that.
Yeah. And it's what's best for you and it's what's good for you. I mean, we speak every week about mental health and well-being.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, if you could take up going on golf course, it would wind me up.
Yeah.
It'd bore me, and my head would be elsewhere and start thinking about things I don't want to think. So
yeah,
them beeps keep your mind going, don't they?
That's true. I took my boy sea fishing the other day, and it's only down the road the sea is for me, and because I can't cast because I've got a nerve damage in my arm, I was just showing him how to do it, and he caught a big fish. But I actually had first time I cut my hair, so it was actually bald and it burnt, Dave. I won't lie to you. I've never felt pain in my life like that. I've had sunburn. I couldn't lay my head down one side because it was all, and within 2 days it had peeled, and it had looked like, like a potato. Like an old potato. It has them brown bits of skin. It was like that. It was like that all over the top of my head. It looked bad. It looked bad. I couldn't leave me out. I walked into the shop. People said, "Are you all right? Sure you ain't caught something?" I thought, sure I haven't. It was bad.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question to get Adrian to answer the coil. When was your worst sunburn?
God, mine was the other. This is, as I say, it was Aaron from South Coast Detecting that come up on the live and went, "Look, you've got to cut your hair." So I cut it all off because it used to be really long. And then, of course, this year was the first time I've ever shown it to the sun. And I left my hat off for 15 minutes, literally just 15 minutes, Dave. And I walked back to put my hat back on. When I got home, it was like, every time he touched it, it was like raw. And she said to me, "Yeah, you need to." And I put a damp cloth on it, and that made it worse because now I've got all skin like peeling across like a potato. And it's now, so I'm never taking my hat off again, no matter.
The factor 200 on it next time. Factor 200 in your hat.
I'd have to get that stuff. That stuff they put that white stuff on your face when you're doing. Yeah, that I'm going to have that like white head right all over the top because that. When someone said to me, "How did you get on with your first sunburn on top of your head?" Not good. Not good. Never again.
1998, man, would have been Universal Studios in Florida. I've been sunbathing in Florida. It's the first time I'd ever been abroad. Sunbathing in Florida the day before. 40-degree heat. Totally destroyed me because I'm a big man. I aren't using some bloody cream. I'm a man. Like we do. And I was in absolute agony. And I had a rucksack on, carrying the rucksack around Universal Studios. I was crying. Worst sunburn I've ever had. Scarred as well. Still scarred from that.
Blistered. It blistered you as well then?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen people blister like when they've had, and it's actually like a blister you get on the back of your heel. My mate had one there, and this thing was huge. I said, "What's that from?" He was like, "Oh, sunburn." I was like, "I've never seen that." So that's what worried me about my head the other day. I was worried I was going to start getting these big bubbles on the top of it. Like,
do you know what I might do, Daddy? When we go to these events, I might actually get a massive thing of sun cream and put it on the stall. Help yourself to sun cream.
I'd be there every 5 minutes. It'd just be the head. See, I'm all right on the arms. The arms are all right because I usually get my body out. Like I take my t-shirt off and my belly hangs out and that, and I walk around. I don't care. I don't. But it was the first time, as I say, the head.
You need to go out with Steve Newman, see how you cope there.
Well, Aaron from South Coast Detecting always looks like he does all right with his bald head. He's never once moaned about sunburn, but it reminds me, I'm going to have to message him.
Steve Newman's totally in the buff, and you've actually done well there because young Aaron was a bit perturbed before that you hadn't given him a shout out. So,
I love
shout out.
I love my mate Aaron. He I've met Aaron first time at Detectable, and he had a few rums. Aaron did, and I was sitting in my tent on my own, just chilling out, and he come diving in my tent, and I mean like a keeper saving a football. Didn't even put his arms. He just had his arms down like that and dived straight into the tent. Pitch black it was. Slid up to the back of the tent, hit the tent. I just looked at him and said, "You all right?" He got up, just started laughing, and just walked out of my tent. I was still sitting there for 5 minutes thinking, did that actually just happen? and I didn't even get to record it, but that made a good Detectable. That did.
I've got a lot of time for Aaron. Aaron, where's your photograph? You need to send us a picture ASAP, Aaron. Can't tell you why, but I need a photograph, Aaron. You know what I'm on about, Aaron? If he's still here.
Yeah, he's so that's why I got pulled.
Rob Random said you got salmoned.
He did. That's what he did. He literally, the way he come through, and I say it to everyone. Whenever people say to me about Aaron, I'm like, "You've not seen Aaron do what I've seen him do." But it was his face, because I thought the way he hit the floor, he'd go bang and just slid and hit the back of the tent. And he just got up and just looked at me and laughed and walked off. I was like, and I was still sitting there on my bed. I walked out afterwards. I said, "Lads, have you just seen what's happened?"
Yeah.
So Aaron's
would you believe how small a world it is? When I used to sub-edit a magazine called Phenomenon Magazine, which was about the paranormal and such like, so you're talking late 90s, early 2000s, I got a book to review, paranormal, I can't even remember, was it Eastbourne? Aaron, remind me, Chichester, something like that, one of them areas down there. by Aaron Riedel. So we reviewed the book in the magazine because there was a lot of these books around paranormal, different locations. Next thing you know, I'm talking to Aaron Riedel, who's a metal detectorist, who wrote that book that I reviewed, and we both used to work at Butlins as well. So it's like this mental thing that I'm both obviously used to be. Well, I think he still does do a few bits in the paranormal community, but I used to be very involved in the paranormal community. So this mad thing with me and Aaron, it's just like a lot of mirrors. It's a bit odd.
So did you work at Butlins as well then?
He worked in I think he worked in Minehead and I worked in Pwllheli.
I think he still works at one now. I think he does. I think
he's back in security now. Yeah,
security. He does make me laugh when he sends a little clip of himself or something walking around, and you could. I always say to him, "What are you, Butlins police?" Like he's looking for all the young ones. Look, where are they? All these little ones are out of control. Like, but he's an absolute. I actually have to thank him because now that I've had my haircut, I actually look a lot better now than what I did when I had long hair. So I kept putting it off. He come on and said, "Tell no more." And I got beard shavers. I started hacking at it, and he said to me, "No, leave it. Get your wife to do it tomorrow." But by then, it was already bald bits everywhere. So
I always do mine. Mine's going Monday. It'll go off again, ready for me all day. I've got a thing called. Have a look for them. Bulldog skull shaver.
I'm gonna have to have a look for one of them because my one keeps jamming up.
Oh no, these take it to the bone.
That's what I need.
Bulldog. In fact, I'll send you the link after the show, Terry.
Yeah, nice one.
To the website so you can see what they are. I think they're about 90 quid. I do mine to the bone every week or a couple of weeks or so. So
that's what I keep doing. My hair's still at the side. It's still at the side. And I want it like literally all off bald. But my missus with a razor blade, you've got to be joking. I ain't letting her near my head with no razor. She cut my ear with those shavers. How'd you do that? She said, "Oh, stay still," she said. And then also she went, and literally she took a little nick out of it. I've never felt so much pain in a little bit of the ear. She's like, "Well, you moved your head." I was sitting still, love. I was like that, like not even moving. She's like jamming things into the side of my ears, like.
Well, listen, Terry, I've had a fantastic chat tonight.
It's been wicked. Thanks for having me on, Dave.
I've missed my co-host. I always miss people when they're not here, but I've missed my co-host because he's ace. I love him, Adrian. I can't wait.
Adrian, I like Adrian. Adrian's a legend. But I'm just glad that hopefully his family members getting better.
Yeah. Hopefully so. He has texted me a bit ago, so I've not been able to respond as yet. But hopefully all's well's there. Cole Beatty owes me one, doesn't he? Let's just leave that there, James. It's been an absolute pleasure. Can you give a shout out to your YouTube and web Facebook groups again for people who are interested?
My YouTube channel is Diggers Den Tyson Fury MD UK. You can also find me on TikTok as well now because I started TikTok a few months back. And my Facebook groups are Garrett Ace Worldwide, the Garrett Group, which is, you'll see it's the main Garrett Group because it's just the one, and Brothers Extreme, which is our actual main group. So if you want to come over and join us, I mean, even if you want to join us on our Apex groups, and because some people haven't got the Apex but still join our groups, and it's just an extra thing for them to look at because some people want new machines in the future, so it's always good to have a little look what other people have actually got. So come and join us.
Brilliant. Right, I won't be here for the next 2 weeks. Adrian should be here. Luke will be back as producer for a couple of weeks. Kerry will be here next week as a co-host, and Shane will be here the week after with Scotty B as a guest, and other people from Detector who've been to Detecticon to have a review of that. As I said, all the different events that we're going to be at over the coming months: Midland Detecting Days Rally, the Congleton Medieval Festival, Rodney Cook Memorial, and Detectable. Hope to see you there. If you do want to be a guest on the show, honestly, Terry, tell them it's a piece of piss.
It's easy. You might be nervous to start with, but I'll tell you what, if you don't have that chat on at the side screens, you can't see what people are saying, then you can engage conversation, which is, and it's really easy. So just come on and just talk. It's easy once you're on.
It's easy, and it's not anything else. You're just having a chat about the hobby of which you love. And
Yeah.
we'd love to hear from you and love to hear from other people about their experiences, their finds, their thoughts. You know, everybody's welcome on the show. So give us a shout. Find me on Facebook, Dave Sadler. DM me on there, or message me, email me at editor@arcmd, that there, editor@arcmdmag.com under, I nearly called you Tyson then, under Terry. So, Terry, stay where you are. I've got to end the show and put a advert on, but I'll have a quick chat with you before you go.
Okay,
so,
bud.
Everybody, I will miss you because I will be probably at this time over the next 2 weeks inebriated on Fez in Oludinese. So thank you all, and
Thanks
we
to
will
everyone.
see you soon. Thanks again, Terry. Take care.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.